Hello y'all. Welcome to part 4 of my Kingdom of Manitoba playthrough in the Hearts of Iron 4-mod Old World Blues. In part 3, our rival, the Republic of Three Rivers, formed a faction against us, which is probably something to be worried about, although at this time it doesn't really consist of anyone else but themselves. And right now we're getting prepared for a potential conflict with the Duchy of Langenberg. And let us unpause now and go to our intelligence agency, the Royal Security Service, and start building an intelligence network in Yorkton, which is the capital territory of the capital, somewhat, whatever, just build it up in the territory of our enemy. We need an intelligence network for sure, and we also need to probably just get more military experience very soon because I want to expand the size of our army. And I need more manpower as well. How is the money situation looking? We have 81k. Very good. So we're just getting ready here and just preparing for any kind of attacks the Duchy of Langenberg could throw at us. We just need more troops. We need all the troops we can get, honestly. That would be terrific. And these guys here are just getting ready constantly. They're doing their exercises. Mounties are doing jumping jacks. And we're just waiting. It's just to wait. And we are building up some outposts on the border with the Duchy of Langenberg. And there's some more between Lannius' cohort and the Archdiocese of Santa Fe to our very far south. And a peace conference just took place. Okay then. And now we're just waiting as we do the focus. We were the few. This will give us 750 manpower. And I am just keeping an eye on the Republic of Three Rivers, because if we get into a conflict with Langenberg, oh my goodness, they've allied with the Old Believers. That is going to be a potential problem, honestly, because the Old Believers are just to our south. Yeah, and let me bring this ship here and merge this longboat with the navy we already have in the Assiniboine River, and just have them ready to strike as soon as possible. Good. We were the few is complete. We have 750 more manpower. Now in the focus tree, let us begin do old world guns, and that will take 30 days. And it says here, most of the guns used by the Royal Guard have broken down over the long years of our rule, but a few are still operational. If we give them to our scientists, maybe they can figure out how to reproduce them. This will give us the technology, basic ballistic weaponry, and 250 units of American basic weaponry. They will be added to the national stockpile. Okay then. So now, I need to go to my army. So let's go to our templates here, and just throw on another group of infantry, and that'll bring our combat width up to 16. I'll make our divisions individually more tougher, ultimately, and that will cost us some manpower. Today of infamy, what is this about? Today, all who call themselves Canadians mourn the greatest tragedy of our history. Today, that those we consider our closest brothers betrayed us and stole our freedom. The American invasion of Canada over 200 years ago was a brutal and bloody affair that none were spared from. Today, we remember those that were taken from us by the atrocities of the invaders, and remember the proud nation that once set an example to the rest of the world. O Canada, who was slain unjustly by the hand of tyrants, shall you ever rest in peace and in our memories, lest we forget. And this will give us 10 political power. It's kind of like a flavor event, and for some context, in the Fallout universe where the Old World Blues mod is set, Canada was invaded and annexed by the USA a few years, I believe, before the world ended, so like in the early 2070s. And the world ended in 2077, I think. So that's something that happened. And in Old World Blues, there was like an active resistance against it. There was the CPF, the Canadian People's Front, I think it was called, who controlled Canada for a time. And after the bombs fell and all that, then they broke apart. And that led into the Kingdom of Manitoba and all of these other states. And that's just the lore of Canada within Old World Blues. The story of Canada in Old World Blues and in Fallout. And I think there is, I don't know, we just have our army getting ready here constantly. And Old World guns, I'm looking forward to the equipment it gives us. Even though I'm not going to use any of it, I'm going to use it, but I'm not going to make any any ballistic weaponry, because I got to keep this pipe gun production going, because we just need more soldiers more than anything else right now. And we need to really get this up to 20 combat with ultimately. We need more troops also. Please, we need more troops. So put another division in the recruitment queue, and hopefully we can get more equipment. That would be great. How is construction of all the forts going? We have at least, outposts. We have at least level 1 outpost along the border here, and those will be somewhat useful, I think, against the enemy when push comes to shove and the Duchy of Langenburg tries to fight us and loses horribly, even though it looks more and more like they have pretty good national spirits. I'm not going to lie. They have First Leif Yorkton himself has a good leader trait, and also the Langenburgian army. Like, look at that, infantry division attack is high, infantry division defense is high. So we got to be very concerned about that. So if they're on defense, their stats are better for attacking, not as good at defending, it looks like. And we just need more manpower. How are things looking here? We are going to save up enough caps to get the military signing bonus. Also going to the what are we going to do? We need to up the conscription law up to heightened readiness, and then maybe calling on the reserves. Seed selection is done. Go to the research tree now and start researching plant cultivation, because agricultural technology in Old World Blues is critical. It is something we need just to give us more manpower. Ultimately, it helps with monthly population gain, which trickles back into manpower, and that is something we need to use so bad here. And let's just build up way too many outposts. Actually, build a bunch of infrastructure on the border here. Build me up some infrastructure here on the border. Basic weaponry has been researched now. Give me some infrastructure on the border just so we can use it to help our troops ultimately. I think it would help them, possibly. And let's complete a new blade, and that'll take 30 days. And it says here, in this time of need, the gracious lords and ladies of the kingdom have decided to demonstrate their loyalty by providing us with additional arms factories to equip our soldiers with some of their, and there's a war to our east, I think. No, to our west, with some of their best weapons. This will give us 2 armed workshops in Brandon. And there was a war between the Stoon tribes, Manifest Hope, and Dundurn. And that is, I think this area is collectively known as the Electorate. And they're kind of a group Manitoba has connections with, because we do have a focus that will let us help Stoon if they were led by Pierre Solomon, who is their starting leader. But alas, he is not the leader of the Stoon tribe, so there's going to be no real reason for us to get involved there. We'll just be looking on as spectators, I suppose, as we deal with our own issues and modify the government in some way, maybe. We need to hold on to our political power. I want to up that conscription law. We need to get calling up the reserves, or at least heightened readiness. I do need that. And we have outdated equipment in production. Who cares? We need pipe guns for days. We just need more weapons to be made. I don't care if they're outdated. We just need more guns. More guns are a good thing for us, really, as the Kingdom of Manitoba. And we're just saving up political power to up the conscription law. And expiration for technology, we have none to spare. Something for that will make the Van Grass request loan. Oh well, it's whatever. And how is the money situation going? We have 123k. We have a positive income for caps. And caps, well, the caps ledger is important, and currency is important in Old World Blues, especially for army wages. And we're going to end up trying to give lifetime pensions to our soldiers when the war begins, just because that will make them better. It'll help with division experience gain, army experience gain. We could just do it now, honestly. It would cost us money, though. Let's just do it now, yeah, because we're going to need to do it later anyway. It's going to cost us more money per month, and that did cost us some political power, but it will be worth it because I need more divisions, ultimately. And I'm saving up for that conscription law. And that is something we're going to definitely acquire as soon as possible. I had to get that lifetime pensions, though. How much money does that bring us down to? Not too bad. We get enough per month to get that military signing bonus. That would be good. And that will give us manpower. But we have plenty of manpower right now, so it's all fine. I think so anyway. And we just need to keep the constant production of pipe guns flowing. And now let's get more men-at-arms divisions made. And we just need more troops, because we're going to be fighting on a very wide front on against the Duchy of Langenburg. should we move out to take should we take Langenberg and Yorkton? The front will expand greatly in Yorkton and Langenberg, and then we'll try and push out and capture all of Jedburgh and Earl Grey. And our navy is expanding in size, very good. And we need, don't modify the government, just hold on for that conscription law, please. We just need to get those guns. We need so many more guns. A new blade is nearly done, terrific. And we'll start doing the focus, train new elites, then do the Majesty's, His Majesty's Loyal Rangers. I may try and recruit another special ops, spec ops force, but not yet, because they need the scout kit. They need this scout kit stuff. The spec ops and Old World Blues require that for their template. That's the gear they need. They don't just take regular infantry equipment. And we have more pipe guns being made daily. We have 5.3 being made a day, 2 anti-tank rifles being made per week. I probably should aim to update. I need to probably research more military technology. And there's a war in Texas between some super mutants. That's like basically another world away from us. And my goodness here. Okay, so we're still just getting ready for this conflict with the Duchy of Langenberg, who does not seem to display any sort of efforts to want to fight us yet. They're having to get ready for the conflict themselves. Their army is expanding in size, so we're keeping a close eye on everything ultimately. And we need more soldiers. We always need more soldiers. Saving up for that conscription law. Then we'll worry about military staff. Yeah, they're greatly expanding the size of their military as well. So they have spec ops here. It looks like they have knights with them. That's a little concerning. Some knights. And I think the lore for knights in Old World Blues in Canada is that the Kingdom of Manitoba used to have knights or something as their special units, and they lost a war with the first Republican Coalition War. And so the knights were exiled, and now there's Mounties. I could be wrong on that though. So we have the Mountie spec ops here, still training. Everyone's training. We got 5 army experience now. Let's expand the combat width of this division. Good, and this will greatly use up a lot of manpower, but we need more divisions. We always need more. We need at least 1 more battalion to have full 20 combat width for our infantry. And we need all the divisions we can get our hands on here. Training does not stop just yet at all. Do we want to go ahead and deploy these guys? I say yes. Deploy as many divisions as possible. Come on, deploy these guys. Deploy them, yes. So we have 2 divisions now. They'll be watching the border. And the absent Duchess. Oh no. Oh no. In these past few months, it seems that Duchess Sophie has fallen behind on several administrative duties in the Duchy of Langenberg, most notable of which, including being the management of forces guarding our borders. A disproportionate amount of patrols have been assigned to Langenberg, and Yorkton remaining mostly idle and claiming to be responding to increased Metis hostility, while frontier levies struggle to defend their settlements. Misplaced equipment and supply shipments have also become increasingly common, placing a further strain on our overall security. Attempts to contact Duchess Sophie or even discern her whereabouts have been met with lukewarm responses from nobles, with conflicting responses being given each time. There has been some speculation that these recent missteps are related to her increasing age and subsequent health issues. And something about this feels off, and this will activate the mission Manitoba waits and give us 250 infantry equipment and 250 manpower. So something is a little up for sure, and so going to our decisions now, Manitoba waits. With Duchess Sophie's recent disappearance, many within our ranks are beginning to fear the worst. Reports from the security service are grim. The Duchess is most likely dead, and the Count of Yorkton is attempting to obscure the increasingly obvious fact. Combined with the buildup of military forces and rumors of exiled knightly orders arriving in the far corners of the kingdom, we must prepare for what is beginning to look like the inevitable. And once those days pass by, a war will begin between the Duchy of Manitoba, the Kingdom of Manitoba, and Langenberg. So a war will begin there. and that is something we have to be concerned about. So everything is becoming increasingly clear. Stop having the troops exercise and prepare for conflict. And with that, I'm going to end what is part 4 of my Kingdom of Manitoba playthrough in the Hearts of Iron 4 mod Old World Blues here. If you enjoyed the mod, you can check it out in the video description. If you enjoyed the video itself, make sure to like and subscribe.